Good morning. Can you really go on vacation and lose weight and have a great experience, have so much fun, have a great time, feel great, and move toward a goal? You absolutely can do it. In this session, I'm going to be diving into the mindset, the schedules, the thought process about how to make that really positive vision into a reality. So maybe you've never thought that such a thing is possible. If you're in that sort of space, I hope this can be an inspiring presentation. And if you are interested in trying it, say, I don't even know how to go about it, or maybe you have a routine of it. So we'll dial in on all these things and see where we end up. So throw thoughts in the chat as we go along. I have some thoughts that I'll share with you, and I'll kind of go through my thinking, and then we can have a discussion about it. So if we haven't met, I'm Dr. Z. Real nice to have you here. I'm an internal medicine physician, practiced as a primary care doctor for many years, and then a few years now I've been focused in on weight management and diabetes management practice. And so this is a topic I'm really excited to bring to you, inspired, especially because I'm on vacation this week. And so real nice to be able to connect with you. I'm on the road now, and so this is testing out my mobile setup. So far, so good. But vacation is on my mind. It's kind of vacation season, end of the summer. And so grab a coffee or tea, calorie-free beverage of choice if you're in a fasting space, and we'll dive in on some thinking in this regard here. So here's the reality. We're gonna go on vacation, and here is some food. So I typed in just to little search. I said cruise ship food, and this is one of the pictures that comes up. So food can be a big part of a vacation if we are trying to relax, trying to have a good time, and man, food can definitely be a part of that. I think a cruise ship, an all-inclusive resort, these can be like real fun spaces, but the type of place where weight loss programs go to die, right? So let's confront the reality ahead of time and just realize, okay, food can be a great part of a vacation, can be a great way we connect with friends and family and have a good time. And I always want that to be part of things for people. And so we have to put it into the right perspective. So this is a line that I've heard a lot. So I've spent years working with clients, helping them on a weight loss journey. And I started hearing this line, not so far in. Okay, everything was going great until, and then some sort of event. And we've gone through different types of events like family difficulty and health experience. Things, life happens, right? One of the things that can happen in life is not even a bad thing, just a vacation. Like I was in a really good groove until I got on the Carnival cruise ship, and then, you know, then everything went sideways. So, vacation will change your schedule. So this is the first thing. I'm a big fan of routine, right? So getting in a routine, very helpful in general. And when we're in a routine, we kind of know what to expect. We get in a groove, and that's one of the main benefits of sticking to a schedule. I'm a big advocate of having flexibility in everything that we do with lifestyle practices, diet, exercise. Having a routine, it just takes a lot of the thinking out of it. And then when we don't have to think about so much, it becomes automatic. We kind of stay in a cycle. All of a sudden, you get in a vacation. Now it's like, okay, we're out of the regular cycle potentially. And so then that opens up the possibility that we are not sticking with something that is working for us. Change in the environment. So I put a video on the channel. If you haven't seen it, go find it. Find your perfect fasting environment, right? The perfect environment to be dialed in on weight loss is one where you don't have to say no too much, where you're not encountering like so many good things. You say, I'm just keeping the environment in a calm, simple place. Like a vacation is potentially the opposite of that. Like you're going to a place that is exciting and is full of great restaurants and things. And then it's like, okay, you've got to like stay dialed in, right? So that's a total change. And like if you're not prepared for it, then that is the sort of thing that can really throw you off course. And you say sometimes the plan is like to have no plan. Sometimes you say I'm sick of plans. I just want to intentionally move into a space like that, um, and then that is what a vacation is to me. Like a lot of people feel that way. And so if that is your experience, then it will be, harder, right? We say, well, it'll be harder to move toward it, more likely to have this experience. Yeah, you say sometimes gaining weight is the plan. That's the people say, I am going to go on a trip and I'm going to eat so much and I'm going to really enjoy it. Okay. Well, then that is a thing that is going to make vacation more of a potential cause to gain weight, like especially if it's the intention. Triggering of old habits. So sometimes like we take a vacation that is like one we took before. And like if you're in a cycle, like, oh, here's the restaurants we go to, here's the things we eat, here's the things we do. And like we just experience different experiences that we have had in the past. So the end result, all of these different ways of thinking, the end result of that can be is just very common that people gain weight on a vacation. And part of internal medicine as a physician is a pattern recognizing sort of thing. So as I'm seeing people coming through the weight clinic and I'm hearing these things, I was like, so this is a common sort of thing that people deal with. Like, let's try to figure out what are the ways we help people break out of that cycle and move in a different direction. One of the things that people can be thinking is like you get on a cycle that is working. You have something that is working in your everyday non-vacation life, but there can be mindsets in it that are potentially unhealthy. Like one mindset is like, I'll be really good until I get to the vacation, and then I can like, kind of let myself go or something like that. Now, that sort of thing can work. There's a certain amount of that mindset that I think can actually be healthy or positive, which is to say, I'm definitely, like I said, into flexibility. Everything doesn't have to be the same all the time. And like, it's definitely okay to like lean into something and say, I'm going to kind of hit this harder for a little while, and then okay to back off. So that part of it is okay. But the part of that dynamic that I think is not so helpful is to say, like, every day is actually a struggle. Like, if you're in a space that is struggling and you're forcing your way through it, and then you're saying, well, eating is my reward or some really extravagant thing, like, this is creating a lot of tension in life. And, like, a big thing that I try to help people get to, I want people to be in a space where your everyday non-vacation time is not a struggle. And that's actually the focus, where it doesn't have to be like vacation doesn't have to turn into this big release, because that sort of dynamic is like it's not a healthy or sustainable dynamic for people in the long run. It leads to like these kind of wild swings in eating, and that just my experience with people doesn't really work well for people. So if people are having that experience, people are saying, oh, I'm getting into a vacation space and I have trouble controlling it. I have trouble, like, it goes out and I eat too much. People feel bad about it. Okay, then let's dial in on this, pre-vacation space. What is your experience? And if you're having an experience where you're not content and it's a struggle and you're just like hanging on, okay, that's a space that I really want to try to unwind before the vacation, because that's kind of, we don't want struggle anywhere. This is like the worst outcome to me of like a vacation, is to say someone went on a vacation, they didn't have a good experience, they ate more than they wanted, they gained weight, and then they are feeling guilty about it. And this is something that I especially want to help people avoid. Is like that is not the desired outcome of a vacation for sure. You want to come back from a vacation feeling refreshed. You want to be able to enjoy the vacation and feel good. Like, absolutely. And so we've got to find the balance with food because we want a positive, healthy relationship with food. So, can we have our cake and eat it too, right? Can we go on vacation, even have something delicious like this, right? Have a delicious treats, um, but stay on track on a way where we're feeling good, we enjoy the vacation, and if we're using a fasting process or any kind of weight loss process, can we keep it going in a way where we can come back from the vacation and be even in a better place? See, then we're very far away from any of these symptoms of regret or anything like that, and we can just keep the positive vibes going. Is like the very best case scenario. So here is how to think about it. I like this thought: take fasting on vacation, right? And that can be in even tiny amounts, and it depends. Like lots of people can be in very different places with it. Some people eating 2 meals a day, doing kind of classic 16/8 sort of experience. Other people dialing in more on some sort of routine, OMAD, 1 meal a day eating, or more advanced fasting practices. Um, so wherever someone is coming into it, like the first place where I have people think about is like, do you have a schedule that works for you? And is it actually not difficult or not uh, stressful in some way to just keep a schedule that is working for you? Because I have to tell you, a lot of people have just a thought because it's our culture, right? Our food culture is that it's normal to just eat 3 times a day. And I think it probably isn't. Just judging on the fact that it really doesn't work that well for a lot of people. And making a simple switch into 2 meals a day or less on some frequency just helps people to be healthier, helps people to maintain a healthier weight. So if you have a schedule that works, just realize, okay, just because you're going on vacation doesn't mean you have to change that. And if it's an easy space to just fit into that, that can be a really nice way to go. Bring the fasting part with you. The food choices, right? This is the balance, right? We got multiple dials to turn, on health. How much exercise are we getting? What food choices? And then fasting are the big three. Fasting, what I focus on, especially for a vacation, because like fasting is the easiest or simplest for I should use because some people don't always find it the easiest. Some people do. But definitely the simplest practice to take on vacation because it takes no time. It has no cost. It's like time saving, right? Keep a schedule that works. Make traveling easier. So especially like if you got to fly somewhere, you just realize, okay, I don't have to cram in like these meals, okay? We can take some pressure off. Scheduling can be easier. Keep that space open. Okay, this can like take stress and pressure down as we're traveling. Can be very nice. And then if you're in the mental space to be like, hey, look, like I'm on vacation. We're getting to a great place. We're not stressing out. I'm keeping this process going in the body. I'm running off this energy. And like it can be such an encouraging space to be in to realize, like, hey, I'm a powerful being. I have energy in my body. It's powering me even now on this vacation. I'm getting healthier while we're doing like this thing. These are the types of mindsets that can really help. So, fasting, in my view, is the perfect practice that can create a space for a treat, right? If you are having some sort of food, like that beautiful cake we saw, like some ice cream or something, I never tell people that, you can never have some like unhealthy or special thing. I want people to have great food experiences, but you want to do something that brings it into balance, and that's the thing. Fasting you can lean into to keep things into balance, and then you can do that on a couple different time frames. Um, I have an article on simplefasting.com, navigating holidays and special events, right? So check that out on the articles section. One of the concepts there, I just talk about kind of framing a food experience. And you can do that on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, kind of within a day. As I'm thinking about it now, okay, you can like lean into fasting the week before, the week after. We get into this later in the talk too. Within a day, okay, you have a treat coming, dinner. Okay, we're going out to this extravagant place. They're going to have a cheesecake. They're going to have all this stuff, a weight gaining foods. Okay, lean into fasting on the other side of it and everything kind of come into balance. You could do the same thing, with an exercise practice, but it just take a lot more work and more time, right? To say, oh, I'm going to go super exercise ahead of time and afterward or something and even it out. Take the pressure off with some fasting around it to try to balance that out. Save money for better meals. So I love that. When you're taking fasting on vacation, okay, vacation can be expensive. You're spending a lot of money and all the food costs more. And you say, well, you don't have to shell out for breakfast out and lunch out and dinner out. Okay, open up that space, keep the health space going, and say, I'm saving a lot of money here. And all the food budget that we were going to have here can go and you say, I'm going to, eat a much nicer dinner at some better place. And then this is how you say, okay, losing weight, you're keeping the fasting space going, but also like have more fun, right? If you're saving money and you can really dial up some like ultra food experiences, like level up, then you say, I'm going to ultra enjoy that. I put a video on the channel about, fasting for food lovers, like see that one about like this concept. Okay, absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? We're opening up some food free space so that we can really get in the mindset of priming the taste buds, getting ready, super enjoying a food. So this would be also a mindset to get into that space to really make the meals that we're having on our vacation like special, absolutely. Save time to enjoy more of the trip. So depending on the type of the trip that you're on, if this is like an adventure trip, a sightseeing trip, like we're trying to get to all the Disney park rides, we're trying to hike all the trails, we're trying to get to this special site and another and a thing and all in one day while we're at a place. Like, okay, like fasting can also help you balance that time equation on vacation. And yeah, don't have to say, well, how do I get in my breakfast and get to do these two things and hit lunch and we want to be here and get on the boat and the things. You say, hey, let's just open up that space. It's okay to do. Like our culture doesn't really say, like, no, you've got to get all the consumption in, but like you don't. Can make it more fun to take fasting on vacation and feel better. So what has your experience been, with a fasting process? I know my experience personally, it is such a lightening, cleansing sort of space, good for positive thinking and good for being active, when I'm exercising, having an active day. All right, having some fasting space in there, like it just helps, the body to feel better. And a big part of a vacation, right, should be feeling better. And so if you bring fasting on vacation, like you want high energy levels, you don't want to be bogged down at tons of food, especially food that might not be healthy. Like you want your vacation experience to be like life-giving and energizing, fasting can be a part of that. So taking these practices on vacation actually improve vacation, make vacation more fun and feeling better. Even if you're just sitting on a beach, like that'd be the thing. I'm talking about active vacations a lot, but you say, like, look, I'm so overloaded. What if your vacation is like, I just am going to go sit on the beach? Okay. Well, like, bring in a coffee to the beach or a sparkling water or whatever it is, you know, and having still a fasting space and just enjoying it and keeping those thought processes going. Very, very positive space. So it's opening up this best case scenario, which is having a great vacation, enjoying the best meals, like having positive food experiences, and still coming out ahead, right? Still lose weight by the time you come back. Like, because how fun would that be to come back? Have you ever had an experience like that? Let me know in the comments. Um, that's what I want for people the most, because then you say, okay, I made it through this whole vacation experience, had super fun, and now you're back in your regular routine, and you're like energized, and you keep going, and hopefully the stress is less, and you just keep all the positive experiences going. That's like the best case scenario. Yes, have more fun, feel great afterwards. So good. Now, let's hit a couple other scenarios. I say option two is okay, we have that mindset, but what if you say, I'm not quite in that space? You know, I say, okay, shoot for the middle ground, right? I love this quote, preservation is progress. Like weight loss, people think of, oh, it has to be linear, it has to always be moving forward. But I always want to present, this perspective to people anytime I'm talking about that, because it's very rare that people ever experience like linear, smooth, straight weight loss. Weight loss is like this sort of thing, and there can be like plateaus, and people are afraid of plateaus or people in a space where they're not moving forward. And I say, hey, look, like preservation is progress, right? We can just move forward in a space like that, and it can be okay. Nothing wrong with that. And so if you are having some sort of experience and you're having some success or you're moving towards something, like it doesn't have to just like float along, or it's just fine to float along for a week or two. Say, I'm having a vacation. If you come back from a vacation, you weigh exactly the same as when you would start. I mean, what do you think? Most people would say that's a win, you know? Most people would say, hey, I'd take that. And so setting out for that at the beginning is also a fine thing to do. To say, I am going to get back to neutral. I'm going to use just enough health practices to get me there, right? I'm going to uh, say, I want to maximize my food experiences, Like I said, last time we kind of talked about this concept, I said a holiday isn't really the time for fasting, right? Especially you're getting together with friends or family. It's fine to have more of a food focused experience around the holidays. And then you can see, like, weight loss isn't really my priority right now. I just want maintenance, Like, I want to get through, the holidays and weigh the same. That's like a huge victory, right? And then you move on from there. So you can take that same mindset and take that on vacation, right? Which is like, I'm in a different food environment. I want to maximize like my enjoyment of food on this time. I don't want to be so aggressive on, these other practices. Okay, how can I use just enough of this fasting space and just enough activity and make just the enough good choices, right? So that I come out neutral. And maybe that's the balance for you. And then maybe that helps you have the most fun. Maybe you don't exactly lose weight, but in the big scheme of things, you didn't gain weight either. And so, on a net basis, you're negative. And that can also be an extremely positive space to come back to, because you're like, look, I had this whole great experience. I was on vacation. I had positive vibes. I didn't stress about it. And still we came back, and now we can just keep moving forward. And I love that because, yeah, it doesn't have to be a straight line. I think I can hit on here. Jen has experienced that the last couple weeks. Can I pop that up? Yeah. Yeah, this is a very common sort of thing. I have a little delay because my connection is down a little bit. So I think you're just referring to like, okay, having a space where is okay, where you're heading along in a space where you're not really moving forward, but hopefully you're using that space in a way that is keeping the mental health balanced, and all of that is okay. These are good experiences to work through, and that's especially what I want. Passing the time, at least not moving backwards, without stressing about it. So, and then option three, I say, don't even. Like, I can't even. Like, some people would say, like, I start talking to them on bring fasting on vacation, and people are like, I can't even, you know? And so it's okay if it's not your thing, right? If it's not your thing, say vacation is not where I'm going. And I said this in the beginning, and maybe I presented it um, as a way of to say that oh, is it not good to say like the plan is to gain weight? Like, it wouldn't be my ideal choice, but maybe it is your ideal choice. And like there's actually nothing wrong with it. Like I said, weight loss doesn't have to be linear. It can be up and down. Uh Here, this is what Jen's been experiencing, up and downs. Okay, this is very common, and this stresses people out in and of itself. Just to say, okay, there's ups and downs, and so what I want people to see is like ups and downs with weight loss is normal and expected and almost unavoidable. I mean, it pretty much is unavoidable. I've worked with hundreds of people on weight loss for multiple years, and I mean, have you ever met a person who just their weight loss curve was a smooth, steady line, and it always went down, and they never had ups and downs? I've really never seen it. And so when you start to just recognize, okay, but look, let me make a graph for you. Do I get it going the right way? Whereas like here's all the ups and downs we're looking, but like over years, right? The thing is drifting down over time. And so we want to just not worry about that noise. And here's a practice with vacation that can help you do that. You say, hey, this week I'm going on vacation, or this couple days, or whatever it is. It's okay to give yourself the grace and the space to say, if my weight goes up over these couple weeks, I'm not going to let it rattle me. Maybe it's even part of the plan. Like you don't have to intentionally blow it out, right? But you want that line, whatever the line is, where you say, this is bringing joy and value and meaning to my life. I'm having a great experience. Vacation is about like take a break, reduce stress. Food is a way that can help to do that. You just want to find the line of wherever that is that works for you. You don't want to, I wouldn't suggest, I'm going to take a trip and try to gain as much weight as possible. Like, I would not say to do that. But just take the pressure off of yourself and say, hey, if I get through this and I gain a little bit of weight, like, it's not the end of the world. This is a natural thing that happens. And having that mindset is how you get out of that cycle that I said at the beginning, where people feel guilty about it. Because if you go on a trip and you don't realize, oh, this is the sort of thing that happens, and then you can start a negative cycle where you're like, then you don't even enjoy your vacation as much because you're like, look what it did to me. And now I'm out of a cycle, and I'm off, and I've gained weight, and people feel bad. Like you never want bad thoughts like that. Start a spiral. So you can stop a spiral like that even before the trip starts by just giving yourself the grace to say, hey, if I gain a little bit of weight here, it's no big deal. And look, when I get back, I've got this practice that I'm working on. Learning how to increase a fasting practice can be a big core of weight loss, where I have everybody start working on choosing healthier foods, staying active. You can do all that when you're back from vacation. And so if you're in option 3 land, say, I can't even handle this, just don't stress about it, right? Just realize it's okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. To everything, there is a season. Yes, absolutely. That's true. And maybe vacation season is not fasting season for you. I'm trying to sell you, right? I'm not selling you anything, but sell you the idea that you can take fasting on vacation, and it can open up some really beautiful experiences. But if it's not your thing, okay, maybe that's not your season. Maybe your best plans, maybe fasting's not part of that for like a vacation or something. That's totally fine. But maybe it is part of those plans when you get back, and then that can be fine. And that can just keep you on the tracks, right? So the scenario, keep the train moving forward. Trains go up hills and down hills, right? They work up. This is a natural way. The thing that I've experienced a few times, or I've seen with people, is like things are going in a good direction. Things are going okay. A vacation happens, and this is the thing you want to avoid, right? Is getting knocked off a track, right? Where you hit a vacation, it gets you out of your routine. You're like, and then you're not prepared for it. And now you're out off kilter, and then you can't get back on. And this is where things really go off in a bad way. So where it's like, instead of getting back into a process that is serving you well when you get back, you just keep the vacation process. I had that slide where I say, like, it's like a space where you can pick up old habits again, right? And so if you pick up an old habit on a vacation and then you just stay in that groove when you get back, I've seen that for people. And so the way not to get in that sort of cycle is to plan for it. And just planning is the big key. Maybe your plan is even, I'm not going to do any of this. I'm going to have my beautiful week. But the plan can be, then when I get back, I'm just going to get back on track. Because, like, um, the honest truth is, like, if your vacation is a week, I mean, almost anything can happen in 1 week out of a year. And if the rest of the year is in a good place, or, out of 6 months, if 1 week is not a good week, which, I'm putting in air quotes because it's like, maybe it is a good week. But if it's not a good weight loss week specifically, like, hey, don't feel bad about it. That's the big thing. Feeling bad, like, just think what it's doing in the body. You're releasing cortisol as a stress hormone, which is promoting weight gain in the body. This is part of a bad cycle. So whatever you're going to do on the vacation, you plan for it. And if the part of the plan is like, I'm not going to worry so much about my food choices or fasting or anything. Okay. But the plan should be, in my best idea, but I'm going to get back on track when I get back. I'm not going to let the train sail off into the canyon. Okay. And then if the plan is, I like Dr. Z's plan, right? Dr. Z's idea. I never thought, I could bring fasting on here and actually feel lighter and better and have a better trip and have success. Like, just plan for it, right? What do you want the vacation to be? That's what I would want you to think. What is the trip about, And can health, better health and moving forward in health be part of it? Like, the idea of a vacation, right, is about better health. And we think about mental health, right? Take a vacation from problems, like, just get, hopefully, maybe away from so many screens, kind of bring everything, disconnect a little bit. Like, that's all very healthy. Can, like, our health experience with weight and these things be a part of that experience of getting healthier, both physically and mentally? They're so connected, right? And that's where people get into trouble, is like, okay, if the goal of the vacation is to get in a better mental state, but we're struggling with our weight, and then and have practices that can lead us into a worse mental state when we get back, then the vacation isn't serving a good purpose ultimately. So, like, what do you want to experience? Like, have you had an experience in your life where you're like, I went on vacation and it was like a health experience and I've, like, felt better? Like, if you haven't had that, like, I would say that'd be a great life goal, right? I'd like to learn. I'd like to learn Dr. Z's process. I'd like to have a trip where I lean into it and do it, like, and really, like, propel things forward. Like, how do you want to feel? Like, to me, like, a fasting space is such a good feeling, and it cycles everything forward. So, like, to me, it's a perfect thing to bring on a vacation and increase good feelings. Like, so I don't know, just think about. These are just like prompts, to think about for your next vacation. Like, what have vacations looked like for you? What kind of food experiences have you had? What kind of struggles or positives have you had? And then, like, can you lean into good experiences that you've had? Can you plan for difficult food experiences? And then just think, what are the results that you want, from it? And what are the steps that could get you there, so that, you get a good return on your investment, right? Like, you spend money to go on a trip. Like, what are you buying with it, what kind of, yeah, what do you want from it? How do you want to feel when you get back? And how do the decisions, that you're making, that you're planning for? This is the sort of thing. I love that video, creating your perfect fasting environment or weight loss environment. take that concept on vacation. How do you craft what you'll experience on the vacation so that you make it as easy as possible to get the outcome that you want from it? So here's my main plans. Here's my main thoughts. 2 meals a day is like my baseline for like everybody. 2 meals a day, is what I eat personally most of the time, and that's even as kind of like a maintenance mode. People have different experiences with it. Some people get onto 2 meals a day. They lose weight slowly, steadily, and that's beautiful. And if you're having that experience, okay, of course, take that experience with you. Now, a lot of people also experience 2 meals a day as kind of a balance point where it's like you don't gain weight, which is beautiful. Many people, right, are just on the slow, steady weight gain over time. And so for another group of people, 2 meals a day stops that process and it brings things into balance. And so that's kind of a neutral space. So wherever you're at with it, okay, if 2 meals not propelling you forward in weight loss, but it's enough to keep things stable, maybe that's kind of that option two sort of zone where you're like, hey, I can take 2 meals onto vacation and at least break even, and that could be great. Lunch would usually be the kind of flex space where you say, can we not really make it a whole meal? Can we have a light lunch, a little snack, like we're out doing something? We're not necessarily spending all the money on a big meal out in a restaurant, taking all the time. Have a light lunch and then focus on a nice dinner. That's kind of a hybrid that I really like. And then I think vacation's like the perfect time if you're trying to do it to practice OMAD, to lean into higher levels of fasting, insofar as it makes your experience better. Like if you got a really busy day, sometimes I tell people do the same sort of thing, in your everyday life, like at work, right? Like if you got a super busy day, sometimes you just be working all day. You don't even notice. Like, I don't know, have you ever had it? Like you just work through lunch, you're so busy. You do the same thing on vacation except having fun. You're like, I'm gonna go do this thing and this thing and this thing, and, like, by the time you're done, you don't even miss it. And then have a beautiful dinner, super enjoy it. So eating 1 meal a day, um, a really nice thing to bring on the vacation, kind of, to me, wraps everything together. You're still having great food experience, but you're saving money, you're staying active and doing all this, other stuff. So these are the main things. Like, usually to me on a vacation, doing higher levels than OMAD is like too intense. And so, but if it's not your experience, nothing says you can't lean into it further. But for vacation mode, this is about as far as I would ever personally take it, and see what your experience is. So I'd be curious to hear, those are kind of my thoughts that I put together on vacation, fasting, food, mindset, thought process. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on uh, these things. What experiences have you had on vacation and with food and weight loss? And yeah, let me know and are there struggles? Are there issues that you have dealt with that you think are especially pertinent that I didn't talk through? Let me know what your experience is. I am in Door County, Wisconsin. This is my vacation spot of choice. I get up here once, twice a year. Door County is like the Maine of Wisconsin, basically. It's kind of vacation along Lake Michigan, and we hit a lot of beach and we do a lot of biking, and this is kind of the perfect space to do that. Sticking with the coffee in the morning, this is my ideal start to a vacation day. So if you are on vacation, you say, I'm looking for a place to start. Okay, having the vacation, you can stick with this beautiful routine. Have a coffee. Start your day with a beautiful fasting space, and then lean into whatever is suiting you. So I am going to get along if there's no other questions, comments now. If you're watching this on the replay, throw reflections, questions in the chat. I'd be very happy to chat with you as time goes along, either this week or down the road. I love these sessions because they just exist in the archives. So if you're coming through anytime and you have thoughts about vacation and weight loss, fasting schedules, throw them in the chat, and we'll continue this space together in the future. Real nice to have you here. Have a great week, and I will see you next